Okay, let's begin our Lenten reading for today and practical meditations for every day of the year. And we are on the second week of Lent, Wednesday, St. Peter's threefold denial. Behold the apostle in the hall of Caiaphas, standing near the fire in company with the soldiers and servants of the high priest, asked the grace of knowledge and distrust of self. Okay, let me see if you can see it better when I move that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking for placement. Point 1. Now when Peter was in the court below, there cometh one of the maidservants of the high priest, and when she had seen Peter warming himself, looked on him, she said, Thou also wast with Jesus in Nazareth. But he denied before them all, saying, Woman, I know him not. Consideration. Peter, having recovered from his terror in the garden, followed Jesus afar off to the hall of Caiaphas, and there, in answer to a woman's voice, the prince of the apostles denied his Lord. A short time before, he, more than all the other apostles, had been boasting of his unchangeable fidelity. Great indeed was his weakness. Grievous indeed was his fall. Application. The fall of St. Peter shows us how weakness is human nature and makes us tremble for ourselves. But every effect has a cause. Therefore, let us look into what caused the apostles' fall. The fathers give 4 reasons for it. He was presumptuous of his own strength. He had neglected prayer and vigil with his master. He was rash in exposing himself to temptation. And he indulged tepidity and idle curiosity. Wow, that sounds like a lot of us, especially me. Peter followed him afar off and sat with the servants to see the end. When we think over our falls and the false steps we have taken in life, we may easily trace them to one or other of these causes, affections and resolutions. Point 2. And again, he denied with an oath, I know not the man. Consideration. As the danger increased, St. Peter's fear grew stronger, and he fell lower still. His first denial had been a cowardly falsehood, but his second was a perjury. His sins followed fast upon each other and became more and more deadly. Application. If once we give way to our passions, can you see that? Yeah. And once yield to human respect, gluttony, curiosity, anger, sensuality, or any other sin, we shall soon be carried farther. Never let us venture to say, I will do what I wish for this once, and then I shall be at rest, or I will go thus far in what is wrong, but no farther. This is a fatal delusion. I call it a slippery slope, and springs from the want of self-knowledge. The passions are like fire, which never says it is enough. So St. Augustine, speaking from experience, And can we not confirm it? Yeah, yes, we can. Affections and resolutions. Point 3. And after the space, as it were, of 1 hour, one of the servants of the high priest said to him, Did I not see thee in the garden with him? Surely thou also art one of them. But he began to curse and swear, saying, I know not this man of whom you speak. Consideration. Rapid and fearful was the apostle's downward course. In less than 2 hours, he thrice denied his Lord. Twice he perjured himself, and finally confirmed his false swearing by a fearful imprecation on himself. What shame and grief he then gave to the heart of his master, who at that very moment was standing only a little way off, enduring cruel insults for love of him. Wow. Also reminds me of the protesters. Application. Why did our Lord permit him who was to become the head of the church to fall so low? And why was it published to the whole world in the gospel? The fathers gave the reasons for it. They say in the first place, it was that St. Peter and his successors, the chief pastors of the church, should excel in humility and have a deep sympathy for the weakness of their people. That's true. Secondly, that the world perceiving on what a weak, we have to mimic that too. We need to have that deep sympathy for the protesters. Secondly, that the world perceiving on what a weak foundation in itself the Catholic Church is built should recognize that it is indeed the work of God, not of men, and that its existence is a wonder and a marvel. Thirdly, as a warning to men that no matter to what height of sanctity they have attained, they are still very weak and stand in continual need of divine grace. We will therefore bless and exalt the wisdom of divine providence. Colloquy with our Lord. Okay. Yes, that was very interesting. And if you notice, you may not know this, my mother told me this, but however something starts in a relationship or institution or anything new, however it starts, the foundation of how it starts will repeat itself throughout the life of the relationship, of the institute, or whatever. And we sure do have a lot of people that will deny the church. And I just think it's interesting that that happens over and over and over. So this was probably the very best one I've read so far for Lent. So I am really excited. That was when was that? That was Wednesday, the second week of Lent, Wednesday. Best one yet. Okay, see you tomorrow.